You don't have to be all out every single day. You have to be 1% better. That's why the rule 1% is so powerful. 37 times better is the outcome for 1 year of consistency.
I'd rather be sidelined trying to achieve greatness than watch greatness achieved and it only set on the sideline. Now introducing your host, Jacob Emery.
This episode of the Iron and Infrastructure Podcast is brought to you by Unlocking Greatness with Jacob Emery, a coaching community built for those ready to become the strongest version of themselves. Weekly calls, proven playbooks, and a community built to grow. Greatness is not given, it's unlocked. Join us today at jacobemery.com or DM coach at jacobemery44 on all social media platforms. Welcome back to another edition of the Iron Infrastructure Podcast. I have a phenomenal stat today. This, when I first heard it years ago, absolutely blew my mind. If I told you that you have 1,000,000 seconds, 1,000,000 seconds, how long would you think that is? Most people guess something kind of chaotic. 1,000,000 seconds is exactly 11 days. Exactly 11 days. But what if I told you that you have 1,000,000,000 seconds? So you move it to billion with a B. How long do you think 1,000,000,000 seconds would be? 11 days at 1,000,000, 1,000,000,000, you probably wouldn't think it's something catastrophically bigger. But it is actually 31 and a half years. Million is 11 days, billion, 31 and a half years. Think about the difference in that. It is absolutely incredible difference. So just let that sink in a second. 11 days to 31 and a half years. That is the difference between 1,000,000 and 1,000,000,000. Our brains are literally not wired to know how to comprehend that. That kind of jump is massive. And we are wired to think more linear. We are not able to think about 1,000,000,000. Not wired that way. It's huge. This is like a fundamental flaw that we have as humans. And because we process information that way, it's hard for us to understand scale. Hard for us to understand long-term goals and visions for our life. So today I want to dive into this exact thing. Welcome back. And today I want to talk about why obsessing over your goals overnight or having this quick win or not understanding how long it's going to take is the reason why you never achieve your goals. By the end of this, you should understand what it takes to see the bigger picture and not expect it to be fast, not expect it to be overnight success. It is the compound effect. One of my favorite books ever, Compound Effect. It's that daily 1% deposit that you have to put in year after year, after decade. So just imagine that there's this invisible threshold and the 1% rule that makes you win every day, it's unrecognizable from now till next year. You got to understand that progress is very, very slow and it takes a stacking over time to get any progress to be seen. And there's this deception that we think that our progress is like a straight line. So as we build this skill set, we expect it to look like success is not a straight line, and we expect it to be that way. So if you go to the gym for a few days that week, if you eat right once in a while, I ate good for 2 weeks in a row. What about the other 20 years? It has to be consistent over long periods of time. We look in the mirror after we do a core workout and we expect to see abs, and it doesn't work that way. The universe literally doesn't work in straight lines. It works in curves, and it's always up and down, and it works in ways that you would never imagine. Think back to that million versus billion. The billion is the long-term consistency, the habits over decades, that daily deposit, the lifestyle that you create. It takes a long, long time. This is what the compound effect is all about. It's about that daily deposit that's just a little bit that you don't see results for a long time. And then one day you wake up and it's all coming back to you. It all hits. It's taken me 20 years to have the physique I do today, but it's not something that it happened overnight. I might weigh a similar amount. I might have a similar features, but I am completely transformed today compared to just a few years ago. But the last few years and even now, it's a lot simpler than it used to be because it's a lifestyle. It's something that took years of experimental, food. What am I going to eat? What is the macros I want to have? What foods work, what foods don't, what's the best training split, what's the best timing. There's so many variables, and it took years to figure out. And most progress went up slowly and back down very fast. So whenever you're going through this journey and you start a diet, say you start a diet, you commit to 6 weeks and you're going 6 weeks, it's going good. You want to have this big transformation in life and you see that 6 weeks of hard work, I should never have to do it again. I'm just completely different. And that's what call it the valley of disappointment. It's where you realize that I'm doing this thing over and over for a short period of time and expecting it to just magically be there. Does it really make sense though? For, the first handful of days you start to see good progress, but then it's like, it's invisible. It's very, very micro progress. And it's hard to understand, why am I doing this for? I'm not seeing any results. But you got to stick with the plan. And this is where a lot of people just quit. They end up, I eat right for a month, I have bad genetics. I do this or I do that, it's just not for me. And don't realize that it's actually just because you quit or because you went back to your old habits or because you didn't stick to the thing that you're supposed to do. Small improvements don't feel powerful because they don't produce immediate results. The instant gratification that we are seeking for in society today, you're not going to get it. That's why success takes a long time. Here's what happens though. You become a machine. You create this momentum over time when you start stacking your habits on top of each other and you start just sticking to the thing. Habits become lifestyle. Discipline becomes a non-negotiable. You don't know any different because it works. And you stick through it long enough to know that it does work. And as boring and minute as it seems every day, after a while, it starts to really compound and really start to show itself. So how do you survive those first handful of days, the first 21 to 37 days? Keep momentum there. Keep something right in front of you to keep going. What I do is I call it the 3S solution. I make sure that my outcome is simple. Very, very simple. I want to lose X amount of weight in X amount of days. Keep it very simple. Plan the time in your schedule. Allocate time in the calendar. You have to block out time to get the thing that you want. So what's the priority? 30 pounds I want to lose this month. Put time in my schedule. I have to lose this weight in this amount of time. So I'm going to block an hour out a day to go do the thing. And then what are the stakes? The third S is what are the stakes? Are you going to go treat yourself to a nice dinner if you get this weight loss goal? And if you don't, I always use the stake on the other side. If I don't do the thing, I got to shave my head. I don't want to shave my head. So that's going to be incentive for me to keep going when it's the hardest and when I kind of get myself out of it. But you must tell somebody else because we don't often hold ourselves accountable the way we should. And what ends up happening when you commit, decommit, you commit and then you decommit is it's like a merry-go-round. It's up and down, but progress is never found. Up and down without progress, and you're just digging yourself into a deeper hole that's harder to get out of. It's terrifying whenever you quit and then you start again. And then you quit and start again. It's a self-sabotage. You get comfortable in just giving up. And that is when you never achieve anything you want. So stick to the habit. Don't think about the outcome as the goal. Think about the habit or standard I can set for myself to get this outcome. It's not how do I lose 20 pounds in a month. It's what must be true for me to have the habits where I lose the weight because of the habit or the standard. Eat right, exercise, the 3S solution. So you want to make sure to keep the momentum. Have little reward system for yourself where you keep stacking this thing. Make sure you don't forget about, I don't want to shave my head. You keep on pushing forward for the thing that you're looking for. Stakes. What are the stakes if I do, the stakes if I don't? Put some skin in the game. Put your hand out there. Put your vision out there for yourself. Make a change. If you can't say it out loud, it's either not scary enough or you're not serious enough. So test yourself, have an accountability partner, and watch it all go different. Consistency is the key. I'll say this last and most importantly, consistency over intensity. You can be intense, but you better be consistently intense. For the longest time, I was extremely intense. I was all in or I was all out. I never stayed consistent with either. So stay below the red line. Don't go above that red line. Don't burn yourself out. And just stay consistent every day in, day out. The standards of greatness call for 10 minutes a day of physical output, mental input. If you can do 10 minutes a day, you can stay consistent. And that means that momentum keeps going forward because you have the motion in place. 1% is all it takes. 1% is just a little bit. 1% ends up compounding though. So here's the reality. If you get 1% worse every day, then every day for a year, 1% worse is what you do. You decline all the way down to nearly zero. Nearly zero. So basically, the math says decline 1% for 365 days. Whatever you were at before, it's almost zero. But if you get 1% better each day for 1 year, you will be 37 times better by the time you're done. Not 37%, 37 times better with 1% every day. Think about how massive that is at any pursuit in life. 365, 1% equals 37 times better. That's a lot. You don't have to be all out every single day. You have to be 1% better. That's why the rule 1% is so powerful. 37 times better is the outcome for 1 year of consistency. So back to where we started. 1 million seconds is 11 days. Think about this again. 1 million seconds is 11 days, but 1 billion seconds is 31 and a half years. That is such a massive amount. But think about what would have to be true for that compound effect to go into place very fast at a certain point. So stick with it for a long period of time. Make it a lifestyle. Focus on the habits or the goals and not focus on the standards or the habits, not the goal. Don't think about getting this thing that you would have that's going to make you happy, because probably already achieved things that you said would make you happy and you're not. Think about the lifestyle that you want to live with the standards and the habits in place, and it will all start to change. It all starts with 11 days for 1 million seconds, 31 and a half years for 1 billion seconds. If that doesn't put it into perspective, I don't know what will. Consistency over intensity. Keep it up for a long time. If you can do something for a year, you can get pretty good at it. If you can do something for a decade, you can become great. If you can do something for a lifetime, you can change the world. Let's change the world together. Let's unlock your greatness. Stop telling yourself one day. It isn't about one day, it's about day one. Today should be your day one. What you need isn't another day. What you need is clarity with the community to give you confidence to unlock your greatness. That's what the group coaching program is all about. Confidence, clarity, via commitment. Hit the show link in the notes. Let's start unlocking your greatness now, today.